Hello and welcome to BOI Weekly. I'm Kayode Alayande. Over the last 2 years, the Vice President has gone from state to state, launching the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises MSME clinics. It's a double-edged ceremony during which funds are also distributed to beneficiaries of the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, otherwise known as JEEP Market Money. JEEP is one of the national social investment programs of the current administration, providing interest-free loans of between 10,000 and 100,000 naira to market women, farmers, artisans, and enterprising youths nationwide. As we speak, more than 350,000 people have benefited from the scheme. On the other hand, the MSME clinics were inaugurated to facilitate easy access and interaction between small businesses and regulatory agencies by assembling them all at a single location in every state of the Federation. Edo is the 16th state where the MSME clinics have been launched. BOI Weekly followed the Vice President as he launched the MSME clinic in Benin, even as over 4,000 beneficiaries in the state received cash disbursements under the JEEP Market Money program, being proudly executed by the Bank of Industry on behalf of the federal government. Stay close for details. It's a big day and a carnival of some sorts here in Benin, Edo State, and the energy here is palpable. The Edo State government has thrown its weight behind this event as the Vice President, under whose office the government's various social intervention programs are being run, is expected to personally launch the MSME's clinic in Benin City. Various regulatory agencies like the Standards Organization of Nigeria, National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control (NAFDAC), Inland Revenue Service and Corporate Affairs Commission, as well as others key to the MSME's clinics, have also taken their stands in anticipation of the launch. Older beneficiaries of the JEEP Market Money from Edo and other states also happily and proudly display their wares. Thousands of beneficiaries of the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, known as JEEP or Market Money, are also here to claim cash support for their various micro-enterprises. Today alone, no fewer than 4,000 beneficiaries are expected to be impacted under the JEEP Market Money scheme in Edo State through the Bank of Industry, saddled with the responsibility of disbursing the interest-free loans.
The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Once settled, key drivers of some of the government's social intervention programs give reports on the impact of the initiatives. Mr. Afolabi Imokwede runs the Empower program.
The Empower program is one of the components of the National Social Investment Program that is targeted at youth between the ages of 18 to 35. We have 200,000 of them that have been mobilized across country since December 2016. It's a 2-year employability enhancement program that really helps them to improve on what we call the learning after school. Then apply the learning to work, and then you also do entrepreneurship. In Edo State specifically, in the first batch, we had 4,800 volunteers that were posted to Edo State, and just outside we met 3 of them, Romanus, Oladipo, and Elogosa, and many of them you've also met in the hall. These are the examples of the ethos of Empower. Romanus and Oladipo, both of them are in the NR Grow program. And one of the things we speak about the Empower program is that you've got to get your entrepreneurship even as you start. We've encouraged them to save their stipends and employ your stipends in other things that will create your independence.
Being the dedicated vending house for the government's JEEP Market Money soft loans, the Bank of Industry's Executive Director, Micro Enterprises, Toyin Adeniji, gives a report on the impact of the JEEP Market Money.
We had in the morning over 3,000 JEEP beneficiaries that were in this venue today alone in Edo State. As at today, that number increased. Over 1,000 people, new beneficiaries in the last 2 weeks, have received market money loans. Market money loans are 50,000 naira loans that are given over a 6-month period. It is interest-free, and there's only a one-time admin charge of 5%. What do you need to get a market money loan? All you have to do is belong to an association, a market association. A lot of them has expanded their products that they sell. Beyond expanding their business, it has impacted lives. Quality of life has changed. Most of our beneficiaries are women, and so it has affected their homes. A lot of them, they've been able to use this money to make things better in terms of health, in terms of education for their children. In Edo State, we have done over 4,000 loans, and the loan, we're doing very well. Some of the people have actually had repeat loans, and we're very excited about that. In Edo State, today, the government did even something better. We went a little more micro. Today we have beneficiaries that received 10,000 naira, and a lot of them are here. They received 10,000 naira because the nature of their business, that is a lot for them. So again, with very, very little, with a very, very simple criteria and very, very comfortable means, they have been able to get these loans. Today alone, 368 traders got 10,000 naira loans, and they are here today as well.
The social intervention drive of the federal government is done in partnership with various state governments, and Edo is not an exception. The host governor, Godwin Obaseki, makes a presentation on how his administration's efforts to reduce poverty and irregular migration and trafficking fit into the federal government's social intervention programs.
We are emphasizing technical vocational education, and to that extent, we have started the revamping of our technical schools. We have argued in Edo State that if we have 100 naira to spend on education, 40 of that 100 will be spent on basic education, and 30 will be spent on technical and vocational education. That is the future, so that people can be properly trained, properly educated, and educated for work, not for certificates. We have created the Edo Job Portal, and today we have registered over 200,000 people looking for work, and we are trying to ensure that that portal talks to the Empower portal. We are also encouraging young ones to participate in agriculture, and we thank the central bank and the federal government for the policies they have in place. And so today we have what we call the agripreneur schemes, where we are pairing people who want to participate in agriculture with off-takers. Agriculture is a business. It's not a social service. So we as a government have banking off-takers, and we are now preparing agripreneurs to support and supply them. And lastly, we are creating skill acquisition centers, and very shortly you're going to go across the road to see, thanks to your initiative again, what we in Edo State have done with technology by creating an innovation hub. First in Benin City. It's the largest innovation hub in South Nigeria. And we are going to expand across our state. So when you go across the road, you will see what we call Edo Innovates. We want to thank you for what you have done for your programs, and Empower, the JEEP, the school feeding program. And we will be, up till now, we were not too sure about how to implement the school feeding program. But we have identified that we have to keep our children in schools, particularly in the areas that are most endemic and most prone to trafficking. And so to that extent, we have decided as a state that we will roll out the school feeding program starting from Uhode, Uriomo, the Ovias, and then the rest of the state. So for us as a government, we have outlined our development agenda in our 6 pillars. We have human trafficking as our main challenge. But the opportunity we see working with government, the federal government, is to couch a whole recovery effort, a whole development agenda around the theme of trying to stop our young people from leaving. And we're very, very happy to inform His Excellency that we have gotten tremendous support from foreign countries, particularly the European Union, the World Bank, and other multilateral agencies, UN agencies. And what we're striving to do is to align our development strategy with that of the federal government. And so our requests first is for understanding in terms of our programs, in terms of how we have decided to couch our development agenda, and to seek a special case for increased social investment program funding for Edo State to support our programs for migration for development. We are already in discussions, and we hope to get a lot more support in our All Palm agenda. We have started to resuscitate rubber plantations in Edo State, and by the grace of God, the Benin River Port, which we have now finalized the feasibility study, hopefully should take off before 2020. We believe that once we are aligned with your programs, it will reduce duplication, we'll get value for money, and we'll be able to maximize our outcomes.